Welcome back to the Schmozone Podcast. This is episode number 101. I'm Dave Schmulenson, a.k.a. the Schmo. My co-host is...
Helen Yee with Helen Yee Sports.
And today's guest, we have some members of the New England Cartel. We got Calvin Kattar. We got Rob Font.
What's going on, brother?
Two guys in the top 5 in their respective divisions.
Yes, sir.
Guys,
yeah.
Thanks for joining. Welcome back.
Hell yeah, man. Thanks for having us on.
Good to
Of
be
course.
back.
So just in Vegas, a week, maybe 2 weeks early before the main event against Chito Vera.
Yes, sir. Yeah, usually come out about 2 weeks before, get settled in, get used to the weather, the time, and then, helps with the weight, helps get obviously acclimated to the time and being out here in the West. But, yeah, I love Vegas. Vegas is fun. So, what is it? It's third main event back-to-back in Vegas, and, I can't complain.
Finally getting that recognition, too.
Hell yeah.
I mean, your performances, your style, fan favorite type of
I
style.
appreciate that, man.
And even Calvin, congrats on your recent win. Huge win over Giga.
Yeah. I was happy the way that one worked out, and no more year layoffs.
For sure. And we were talking about it too. It's like, what have you done for me lately? We're talking before we started the podcast, like after the Max Holloway fight, everyone was just writing you off, just taking away everything that you've done to get to this point. And then even Giga, everyone was looking past you, and the performance you had against him, it's like you flipped the script, completely changed the narrative. You reminded everyone why you're a title contender in the featherweight division.
Yeah. More. The more they talk, the more locker room material for us. And even after a win, we're always just on to the next one. Even after the Max fight, after the Giga fight, just focus on the next one. So, and next one's Rob Font.
And I just want to add that I know you guys got a lot of praise, and in particular your coach Tyson Chartier, for just how, not only how you looked in that fight against Giga, but just how everything was handled and taking, some time off, but being able to recover and just have that performance that you did.
Yeah, that little pullback made me want to get back in there that much more. And just when fight day came, just let it all out. And like I said, just glad the way it worked out, and on to the next.
And we are sporting our New England Cartel shirt. Rob, I don't have a shirt for you, but I got the Catermania shirt right here.
I like it.
I love it.
Same shit.
I just came back from WrestleMania, interviewed Brooke Hogan in Dallas.
Hey, you're going to get me in trouble, man.
No, it's good.
I mean, no, it's a nice tank. I don't know where you got it, but I like it.
They're exclusive, though.
Yeah.
They're exclusive. I felt honored the last time you were on the show. We had to sport it when we saw you guys next.
Now I'm honored, so thank you guys. Both. I like it.
You're great. And I'm not going to lie, though, too. A few hours back, we had Uriah Faber. We interviewed him. We put 2 and 2 together, linking you to a fight with Josh Emmett.
And here you are repping. I like it.
We think we know who you picked for this fight.
So you guys, you
Then
think
it's
that's
settled.
you think that's the fight? I mean, a couple hours ago, that's likely the fight.
I mean, I never really care who I fight next, to be honest. I'm always just trying to focus on improving my skills, no matter who it's against, because that opponent could always move around come whatever fight date that you're scheduled for. So just trying to get better every day, and in the meantime, like I said, Rob Font's next, so he's still got my complete focus. I want to see him do his thing, and then I'll be pulling him back in the gym post W for me.
100%.
You got Chito. He's the number 8 guy. I mean, this fight, you beat him. Where does that take you next for the division? Like, what would you want?
Man, it's the tough one because, he's the number 8 ranked fighter. Obviously, it'll be a big win. It'll be, a great, experience for me. But it doesn't really move the ladder, I guess you would say, too much. Keeps me busy, keeps my name out there. But this is not like I get out there and I'm getting a title shot next fight. I'm thinking, obviously, everything goes smooth. Get Chito out of there, figuring second round, and then get back to the gym, help Calvin, and then wait for that next call. But hopefully, we're in that. That conversation, then 2 more fights. So we'll get into that back to that belt.
That's what I was thinking too.
And there's obviously so much going on in your division, particularly, the title picture, Aljamain just beat Petr Yan.
Yep.
What did you make of that outcome?
I think I was kind of similar with everybody else. Like, not sure how that fight played out during the fight. As far as Aljamain, he looked impressive with how he took the back, how he held the back, how often he got towards the back. And then another thing about Petr, he's impressive. He's real strong in the last couple of rounds, and he just looked real good coming forward, stopping the takedowns, taking Aljamain's back and making it back and forth. And honestly, I'm just happy. I'm glad it happened. The division's moving on, and we can kind of get past the first one.
And what do you think about him calling out TJ Dillashaw for the next fight?
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I know. I think they've been going back and forth on Twitter and all that. Former champ, he has a huge name. I
Still
think
accusing him of cheating too.
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's gonna run with that, and it should be interesting. It should make for like some good media. But yeah, I mean, there's only a couple now. It's like it's either Jose or TJ, so it's kind of like pick your poison.
What do you think's the biggest thing you took away from the Jose fight? What did you learn about yourself from that fight, where you're correcting yourself and obviously you're righting the ship?
It sounds weird. I think I really figuring out how to fight that 5-round fight, and fighting Cody for 5 rounds. It was experience, and it was a learning experience, and it was great. But he doesn't have that same experience Aldo has. And then you can, I can feel the difference of when he took off, when he relaxed, when he pushed the pace, when he wouldn't necessarily do much and just kind of like just let the clock run a little bit, especially like hanging on the fence and nothing like that. But yeah, I think I would say just kind of like knowing when to push and pull with either the combinations or the pace, or even like pushing for a takedown, whatever. I feel like I'm figuring that out a little better.
On the note of Aldo, a lot of people consider him the greatest featherweight of all time. Obviously, now he's gone down to bantamweight. I'm curious to get your thoughts. Like, Volkanovski beat Zombie 273. People talk about Holloway, who you've matched up against, as greatest featherweight of all time. They talk about Aldo. Where does Volkanovski right now sit in that conversation, in your opinion?
Well, he's got wins over them both, so pretty high up, I got a lot of respect for the champ. He was always trying to fight contenders, the guy who's next up that earned it, not the guy asking for it. But, we're working towards that fight one day.
Do you think he's done enough right now to surpass Max in that conversation, or Aldo, or you think he needs to get a couple more wins?
I mean, no one's done enough to say he hasn't. He's doing it as we speak. It's still not done being written. So, just a lot of respect. He's going out there doing his thing, and I'm just working on earning a shot, to step across from him one day.
What about him saying that he's kind of watching the 155 title picture? Like, what do you make of, him talking about that and possibly moving up? I
mean, who left is in the division for him that makes the most sense right now. You can't knock a guy for being ambitious, trying to, take off more than he can chew, because you never know how much you can chew if you don't, take that bite. So, I respect anybody that he's proven himself in this division. He's fought Max twice. Of course, everyone wants to see that third fight, myself included. But he hasn't really turned much down in the featherweight division, and has shown up every time he stepped in there. So, why not?
And then for you, let's just say you got this fight. We saw the situation where Korean Zombie got a title shot. How did you feel about that? Like, in reflecting on it too, did it go the way you expected? And being someone who's established what you've established in this division, do you feel like he had more credentials than you to get that opportunity?
I was coming off a loss at the moment. So, hindsight now, if the timing could have worked out where I had already earned that, win back in my place where Max was injured at that moment, then at that point maybe I would think so. But coming off a loss, and my full focus was on Giga, as his should have been on me. But, a win over him just puts me right back in line. Wins don't get you further, they get you closer. So the only thing I can control is that next bout that was already booked. Post that W, now maybe I'd be barking a little bit more trying to get my opportunity over Zombie, but worked out the way it did.
So, like what David mentioned in the beginning, like if the fight with Josh Emmett does get booked, do you think the win over him will get you that title shot?
Yeah, definitely get me closer, I think. You know, I'm always just trying to just inch closer and closer. And I want them to, the ultimate compliment that they could say about me is that I earned it, you know? So I'm just working on earning it. Whoever they put in front of me, just got to take them out. And I want it, when I get that belt, I want it to be earned, you know what I mean? So whoever I got to go through to get it, I'm ready. They're all the same.
I'm waiting for the cartel. I'm waiting for you guys to be back-to-back, or maybe that would be too tough on Tyson, who's in the background right now.
But he's a little soft. I don't know if he can handle it.
He's stressed out all night.
At least main card, space it out. Maybe someone's kicking off the card, somebody's co-main or featuring it, but Boston, the return.
Oh,
That's
Yeah,
100%, man. I would love that. But there was the rumor when they were coming back. You know, yeah, that'd be huge. That'd be huge. We did it once. You know, especially if we could do it main event, co-main event, like it'll be fireworks.
You're in that position now, I feel like, where you guys both just take care of who's in front of you next. I feel like there's more leverage on your end to kind of negotiate that, 100%, right?
100%, man. 100%.
Take notes, T.
So Vegas, out here early and stuff like that, like what are you doing aside from training just to keep you, you know, sane and, you know, everything going, man?
Honestly, man, I'm taking naps all day, man. I'm just taking naps. I'm trying to figure out something to do, but you know, like
Nap always wins.
Yeah, the nap always kind of wins. But between the training sessions, the PI and the PT, like I'm just kind of locked in. I was thinking maybe trying to golf a little bit, maybe even top golf.
Bro,
you guys are good golfers.
I mean,
doesn't
Who's
want the
better?
competition.
No, man. No,
he taught me, so I'm catching up.
Man,
I'm
this guy's
catching
catching
up
up quick, too. I'm telling you, like, the next week he had clubs and he was out at, like, the driving range, 6 a.m. I'm like, fuck, I should be at the driving range right now, you know? But the pressure on me got good quick.
Are you guys good mini golfers?
Well, I mean, kind of. We play par 3 a lot. That's kind of like a grown man mini golf, you know?
Don't play with David. He cheats.
Nah, she says
She always make up new rules.
I cheat because I don't let her win. But it's
but then again, she's always right too.
That's
so.
true. So I
Thank
lose
you.
either way in that argument.
I would. I know you swim a lot, right? You swim.
Yeah.
I would love to jump in the pool if you have
Yeah.
like a
No,
spot we
definitely.
can go to, because I mean I don't swim often, but like
Yeah. No,
Like,
there's
yeah.
so many good pools. Yeah, I'll definitely coordinate with
that'd
you
be
about
huge,
that.
that'd be huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, she wants to do more of a segment where she is swimming with the fighters.
Yeah, and I swim
Yeah.
with a GoPro and we kickboard and talk.
I mean, I
Just
got my
about everything.
butterflies. So,
They
you
don't
know,
want the
stroke, so
smoke.
get it in.
You don't want the smoke. The butterfly, that was more like a breaststroke.
It's all the
Or-
same.
What's the butterfly?
It's
This
kind of more the
is-
shoulders.
Oh yeah, it's all shoulders. Yeah.
Did you guys see the
I need
video?
lessons.
I know you looked at your phones. The guy harassing Mike Tyson on the plane.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was
what was it? I didn't
crazy.
see I saw the aftermath, like what Tyson did to him, but I didn't see I'm sure the guy deserved it.
Of course.
He's
He
smiling with
provoked-
blood on your face.
Provoking.
Yeah, I'm sure
like
it
in
had
this
to.
day and age with TikTok and Instagram, everyone's just looking for that 5-second, 15-second, whatever it is, clip where they can go viral and provoke people. They think like you can say something to anyone and have zero repercussions.
Or do some
That's
crazy
tough.
shit, make a Netflix documentary about it, and get paid off your crazy ass dumb shit you did. How crazy is that too,
true.
right?
Yeah, that one girl.
I
Have
mean, there's
you
a
seen-
lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy, and then they sell it to Netflix, and they get paid off
I
the
can't
crazy
believe
story
it.
anyway. It's a backdoor way of getting
It
rich.
sucks because I heard that what they were saying. Tyson was pretty cool at first, and then the guy just kept going and going and going, and it's kind of like, bro, like you met a legend and all that. Like he's being cool. He gave you what you wanted, and he just kept pushing and pushing, man.
Well, it's because he's got his friend recording it from the aisle next
Yeah.
door. So he's just going to do whatever he can. Okay, it wasn't enough to get enough clicks like everybody can meet Mike Tyson. How can I provoke him? How can I get a good reaction out of him?
And
Hopefully, nothing happens.
charges. Is it?
We'll see, but I'm assuming he's going to do some
Yeah.
charges, and they're going to probably settle out of court. He's going to take a lot of money, so he just gets everything he wants out of him. He gets
Tough.
to meet
That's so
him. He
messed
takes his
up.
money. It sucks, but that's just the day and age we live in now,
Tough, man.
Social
Where
media.
was the
Yep.
TSA at, man?
right? Yeah, it sucks. It's just a situation though that I feel like it's not getting any better. It's truly not. You brought up Netflix though too. It's like, you know, the streaming, the situation that we're into with, they're going to get to a point where it's, how do we monetize this further? Because everybody has subscription. And I feel like we're going to start seeing ads on Netflix if we
Netflix,
haven't already
yeah.
too. And it's turning into the cable model that they tried so hard to get away from. It's all coming back. It's going full circle.
Yeah. Yeah, they spent an arm and a leg trying to produce a bunch of movies and all that. Right now, the stock's kind of dropping right now, right?
Right, yeah.
Pretty heavy.
I just don't know where the future is going to be with this stuff, but I don't know. It all correlates to me, like this whole day and age with the internet.
But are you guys Netflix binge watchers or no?
Yes and no.
Which shows?
We
Mostly in
just watched that the Bridgerton with the I don't even know who's in it. Honestly, I was watching with my girl, but yeah, no, just whatever's interesting, we'll check out. What was that one with Anna? What was her name?
Oh
what
my
was
gosh.
her name?
That's the
Is
one
that
I
the
was
one my
telling
mom
you about.
recommended?
Anna or
Yeah,
whatever.
something on it. Yeah.
That was a pretty good one.
I know, but I just can't believe what she did.
That's pretty
That
cool.
was- That's crazy. I was telling you
Have you
about
seen
that.
it?
I haven't
Yeah, that's
yet.
pretty cool.
She's been telling me about
But
it.
he likes to watch all the serial killer stuff, and especially at night. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
He just
weird.
likes you to stay close to him. That's all. He's trying to get you freaked out.
People have fucked up minds. The psychology behind people and why they do shit. It's like I can't decide if they're just really stupid or they were just corrupted when they were kids and children. Bad parenting. That's probably it mostly. But man, people do some crazy shit, and they're too dumb to realize you're not going to get away with this.
Yeah, even the guys producing some of the shit that never happened. It's like, what happened to you to make you think of all this and, produce a movie? Put your name behind that. That's kind of crazy.
That's a good
know.
point.
Yeah, that's
I
some
know.
crazy stuff out there.
But some stuff is very realistic, like I don't know, prison scenes and stuff like that from
Yeah.
movies, and then you hear people describe what it's like behind bars in prison. Not that I can attest to it, but it's like people talk about, oh, it's real shit.
Bobby Green talking a lot about that, right?
I was just listening to that podcast
I
too.
still got to listen to it, but I heard off that's why I got to listen to it.
It was crazy. It was his coach that got locked in. He was set up. It was like they were trying to buy a car, and the guy was just stealing their information. And then they confronted him, drove down to San Diego, and they were coming from like the L.A. area, county area, and basically they wanted to accuse Bobby, and his coach, being white, didn't want to put him under the bus, and rightfully so. And this guy basically had all their information, and was going to just take their money and run, and sold them a bullshit car, and they called him out for it, and had to serve a couple of years, and shitty situation.
Happens fast, man. Happens fast.
Horrible.
Something like kidnapping or something.
Yeah.
Ruining
I
for
heard
people
that.
listening. Yeah, like if you make a guy walk more than 23 feet,
Some crazy loophole. Yeah, that's
some
insane.
freaking loophole in the system, that fucking sucks, man.
Fuck that.
Got that Mike Tyson treatment.
Yes. But even too, like people go into gyms, like I think Kevin Holland and Derek Lewis, like some guy had called them out to spar and stuff. They signed waivers and they get knocked out or do jiu-jitsu. Like I hate how people, going back to that, just feel like they can talk so much shit in front of people and have no repercussions. Like won't stand up to it when they have to face the music.
It's tough. Yeah, you just got to eat it. I mean, try to just stay out of those types of situations, but sometimes they're unavoidable. But you offend me more probably talking shit about someone I'm with, especially if they're not in a position to be able to do anything about it. That'd probably bother me more than just calling me out or saying something. Like you say something to Uncle T, it's going to bother me because he can't really defend himself,
Yeah.
So I gotta keep an eye out for this guy.
Or
He's getting old.
or if just someone just
Bad
says
life.
your mom's cooking sucks and the chicken
say-
parm is no
say
good,
what?
you fuck them up.
You
Fuck
can-
'em
no, honestly, I let that one go because more for me. Can't let people know how good the chicken parm is.
But no one showed up to the gym in New England, right? They haven't come by to.
Not that have returned visit, We don't know what happened to them, but yeah.
Oh man.
I'd feel like though, because you're in the area, and Dana White's got his legions to the Boston area and stuff like that, there's gotta be some pull you guys have with just trying to call some shots. Tyson, come on,
See,
nothing.
You gotta get on it. We gotta get on it, man. Something. We gotta figure something out because Boston it's just like it's asking for us, man. It's like when was the last time they came? It was it the Joe's fight?
What he's
For
saying
2
is we're
years.
due.
Wait,
Yeah,
was
dude,
that
man.
was the Dominic Reyes, Chris Weidman? We were at that. That was that fight
Oh
night.
wow, that was the last time.
That was when he fought Stevens.
he
No, I was supposed to
right?
fight Zabit. I even did
Zabit.
something at what is it? Fenway with Weidman, right? We did some PR for that, and then Like, kidding, you actually going to Russia.
Where is the
Where is the beat?
I don't know.
Nobody knows.
I haven't heard anything.
You think he returns to the UFC?
I mean, like I said, I don't really focus on these guys like that. I don't give a fuck about them, honestly, any of them. Until I'm lined up. And then after that, I really don't give a fuck again. You know, I wish the best always, but like, I'm not focused on them. The more you focus on other people, man, that's when I'm going to get knocked out. You know, just focus on my own shit, staying in my lane, and focus on what I can control. That's it, like all day, every day.
It's a damn good way to put it.
Trying, man. You know, I mean, people do all that and still might not. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I mean, all I could do is everything I could do.
Earlier, when you mentioned about a rumor in Boston, why did I hear the same rumor, though? I think on Twitter I saw someone report that, but...
Yeah, I guess there's a video of Boston, Dana saying a couple of cities that he wanted to go out to, so...
Yeah, I think I heard the same thing.
Well, they're expanding. You know, they did the fight night in Columbus. We're there in London and I think they're going to be going to Austin, Texas. Like, they're expanding. Like, you still like the Apex environment, or, you know, would you prefer being in front of 20,000 people?
I mean, definitely wouldn't mind being in front of 20,000 again. That feeling, that hearing that crowd erupt like that, getting that energy is you know, it's what we get into this for, you know, but. You know, Apex has been pretty cool too. Like, it's pretty easy. I love coming to Vegas. So if not, let's move to the T-Mobile, you know. But if not, T-Mobile, let's go to Vegas.
And they're building that sphere here. But I'm waiting for them to have a fight in Raider Stadium. That's what I'm waiting for.
Foxborough.
Foxborough would be cool too. It'd be really cool. But you just got to make sure that you do it in the summer months, not in the winter months. At least Vegas.
The weather's crazy.
Has the retractable roof.
You're not lying.
But, like, you know, they're teasing about, or I guess they want John Jones and Stipe Miocic to have that fight, interim UFC heavyweight title fight. Like, stack the cards. Why not have that at Raiders Stadium? International fight week.
I'm tuning in.
Internet, that'd be fun. I'm definitely coming out for that one.
But I think the wrestling, WWE is having a SummerSlam or something at that time. But I just wish, because you guys know, you guys are football fans. The season starts up in August. Like, you can't do anything at stadiums between August and January, February. So now would be the time to do it. Pull the trigger. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, and next week, what do they have here? The NFL.
Well, yeah, your fight card is going on when they have like that Saturday. They have the NFL draft here in Vegas, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Nice. So literally that. So this place is going to be a zoo. There's going to be a lot of foot traffic. It's actually a really good thing you came early, I think, now that I'm putting two and two together.
When's the F1 race coming here next year?
I believe fall 2023.
Fall 2023.
So I think around September area. Huh? You're excited for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. But T's the big F1 guy. I knew he was going to crack.
He already has.
We have a weekend set up.
Am I right? Fall 2023? November. Sorry, 2 months off.
Yeah.
Tyson, I want you to slide in here. I got something for you because we were messaging in a couple of weeks here. Who's going out? Okay, Rob's going out. Then I'll bring him back in. So, Tyson, I realized that when you showed me the picture of you and your son with the Schmo glasses, it was before I created the Schmo glasses line. I got to give you the real thing for him right there. So I figured I'd do that. So I got to give him the real deal glasses
Still
right there.
In the wrap.
Yeah, I don't want to take it out.
Official.
Put these babies on.
It's from New Hampshire, too. You got the camouflage case. I see you. Details.
Well, yeah, the camouflage case, that there's a backstory behind that.
Wow.
You like this?
It looks great.
It's always a 90-degree day.
I love it.
They look natural on you.
I'm the Schmo now.
He's the Schmo now.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, let's ask you a couple questions, man, because coaching and managing these guys, the balance, you've been on the show before and also a former fighter. Just talk about kind of like the ascension of the team in the past couple of years and how rewarding, because I know it's been a grind and people don't see all the work you guys continuously put in it, but I feel like now is kind of like the turning point where people are starting to truly recognize the New England Cartel.
Yeah, I think it was, kind of a vision I had decade and a half ago, and I saw like New England was underrepresented on the national stage. I think we were doing a lot of infighting, a lot of the egos from the different gyms, like my best guy fights your best guy, and neither one of them go to the UFC, and we were kind of a laughing stock on the national level. No one was going to the UFC. We just had a couple guys, and I'm like, man, our guys are fighting tougher fights locally than these guys are fighting in the UFC. It didn't make sense. So little by little, working with guys like Rob and then eventually bringing guys like Calvin, we had the best guys start training with each other. And then coming up and, a few years ago we broke off, started doing the cartel, and we had a vision of like, let's take the boxing approach and build a small camp around a couple fighters with some of the best coaches, get some of these guys sitting over here, some of the best coaches, and then bring in some of the best training partners. And I think you can chase the UFC belt without having to leave New England. And, both these guys are close. They were both one fight away. You win that fight, you're fighting for a title type thing. And now they're both on the way back. So it's it's been a lot of hard work, but it's cool to see their hard work pay off. All the other coaches, all the the families back home. It's truly is a team effort.
1 year from now, what's that goal?
Man, it's just we don't even think that way, because we can't think past Saturday for Rob. We can't think past what's coming up for Calvin. It's like you literally just take it one camp at a time. And we always say is like every camp we're just trying to build a stronger house, a better foundation, fill holes in the boat. And then you leave that camp, win, lose, or draw in that fight, you're going to be better for the next one. And so if we start thinking about like what's going to happen next year or the year after that, it's, that you're overlooking next Saturday. Like the only thing that really matters right now is Rob's fight next Saturday. And then it'll be like a full 180 shift on Calvin and then the younger guys on the team that got some fights coming up. So it's all hands on deck right now. We're just thinking about April 30th.
So stylistically, Chito, because Rob's been fighting killers, as is Calvin right here. Where does Chito's style match up compared to previous couple fights? The Aldo fights, the Cody Garbrandt fights. Where do you put his skill set in that echelon with those guys?
I don't think this is a fight about skill sets. I think Chito's got a dog in him. He comes, he scraps, he wins fights that he was losing, and deals with adversity in fights and comes back real well. He's pretty well rounded. He can kind of, you're never really safe with him. He might not have that Cody Garbrandt right hand or, the Aldo leg kick, but he's got a great leg kick, and he's got, a decent, rear kick, and he'll wing both hands, and we know he likes to clinch, and he's got a jiu-jitsu black belt, and he's good off his back, but he's also good on top. He's aggressive, and he's got a good team behind him. So, like, he's pretty well-rounded, and I think that's what makes him dangerous, and the fact that on top of being well-rounded, he has no quit. He's going to come forward, and he's just going to keep going. So I think that's what makes this a fun fight, because both these guys went the distance with Aldo, who is a legend, and came up short. And both these guys are tough. Both these guys are really, really hard to finish. And but both are big finishers too. I think they're both probably the top 5 or 6 in the division in all-time finishes. So I think that makes it for an exciting fight for the fans. And I do see some areas that, like, I think Rob has big advantages, and we just have to try to play in that part of the sandbox to, fight everything on our terms.
What about Josh Emmett for Calvin?
Yeah, I mean, I never believe a fight's happening until there's contracts signed and all that. But, I mean, if that's what the UFC is targeting and that's what we end up getting, then that's a fun fight. We always talk, Calvin doesn't care who he fights. You always say that. They're all the same. They're all good in their own way, and they're all beatable in their own way. And if that's who we end up getting, then, we'll put our heads down, get in the gym, work hard, and come out prepared to beat a Josh Emmett. He, obviously he's got a dangerous right hand. He's got a wrestling background. He's usually pretty good cardio. I think he used to do like going to a CrossFit gym or something. And I think it's a fun fight for the fans too, because you got 2 bangers there, and we'll just have to come together as a team and figure out the best way to attack that.
I think when you guys were in the podcast studio last time, it was the 10-year anniversary of a photo that we took of you and your fighting career. I guess
oh jeez
the biggest thing that you take away from your time fighting and transition that to the coaching life.
I just think that there's always like voices in your head, and I don't mean like from a crazy person standpoint, but there's like the bitch voice and the voice that'll help you win. And the bitch voice is there. He's like, no, it's okay. Don't defend the takedown. You can give him the underhook. We'll get it after that. Or like, oh, don't push so hard. I'll get it next round. And that guy's talking the whole time. And I recognize that, like in practice and the fights, he's there the whole time. Like every fighter has that. And it's just, as a coach, you got to recognize that that's there. You got to address it. And then when you see them starting to lose that internal battle to the bitch voice, you got to like step up and let them recognize what they're doing and call them out for it. And then hopefully they start to learn that, they're in charge, and that bitch voice a little quieter moving forward. So I think that's really the biggest thing, is like you understand what they're going through, and how hard it really is, you know, because it's easy for someone who's never done this before to sit here and be like, you got to go harder. It's like, listen, Dick, I know. Like, have you ever done this? You know, but there's really not much that these guys are doing other than the level they're doing it at that I can't say that I've done. I've had bad weight cuts. I've had short notice fights, long fights. I've had opponents, you know, switch. I've had to fight up a weight class, all that stuff. Like a lot of the stuff that, you know, most of the adversity that we're going to have to deal with, I've done it on my level, you know, when I was a fighter. So I think that experience and then coming at it, you know, with that experience, but now with like a lot more experience as a coach, I think it helps me get through to them where maybe if someone hadn't fought, they might not be able to.
Calvin, where would you say the confidence that you have comes from? Like the inner self-belief and just the mentality of just taking what's in front of you and not looking too far ahead?
Yeah, just putting the focus on what I can control, and then, just how bad I want it, really. I just, you know, I always say chasing that life on the other side of a win, but, you know, no one can see the things that I want for myself other than me, and I'm prepared to work as hard as I have to do in order to get them.
And having gold around your waist, that's what justifies everything, or is that going to bring you?
No, it's going to bring me the shit I want to, you know, take care of the people I need to, things like that, my why. So, like, when you talk about the opponent, it's like no opponent's bigger than, like, life and just what, you know, that'll sit you on your ass. And it has, for me, I've gotten back up from everything. So I just know that there's nothing that can hold me down as long as I just keep pushing forward. And like what we say, like if we do fall, we fall forward, we get back up and keep pushing, you know, because what's the other option? Sitting on your ass, feeling sorry for yourself, looking back. It's always forward and on to bigger and better things, man.
I wanted to add, when you're talking about just kind of being able to relate to the fighters and whatnot, like in the beginning, I told Calvin that I saw you get a lot of very well-deserved praise, you know, for his last fight against Giga and how just everything unfolded and was handled.
I mean, there's no right way to come back from a loss. And it was just my gut leaving that fight. Like, I just felt like he was due for some time off. You know, since he'd been in the UFC, he'd been in fight camp for 2.5, 3 years. It went just back to back to back camps, and you know, we're not one of these. He's not one of these guys that's going to pull out over because he's hurt. Like you have to have a legit injury for him to pull out of a fight. So we're going into these fights sometimes with, you know, busted up noses and sore things or whatever, but we're always getting cleared by doctors, and we're going in there, and he just never had the time to take his foot off the gas pedal and just like, all right, let me just chill, and then let us get in the gym with him and like focus on some things that, you know, in a fight camp you don't have time to fix because it's like, all right, we got to get the weight down, we got to get ready for this guy, and we can scoot through with this deficit over here. We'll get that next camp, and then it doesn't happen. And so I felt we weren't going to get worse with more time off. But maybe if we came back too soon, you know, some guys that come back too soon from big fights like that, you know, their chin's not the same, and you know maybe they get knocked out easier than they would have last time, and who knows if that would have happened. But I thought like time off's not going to hurt Calvin. We needed to build some new triggers in the gym, and I think. The year off, you know, we did no contact for a long time, and then when we came back, the whole goal was to see him like fight a different style that we knew he could do, but he just wasn't doing yet. And you know, we spent a lot of time in the gym with, you know, guys like Jake and Nick and even Rob, and just trying to build new triggers and get him to fight a little bit different. And that came out in the Giga fight. So, you know, yeah, you got a lot of people saying, oh, the time off, but we could have easily come out and got knocked out in the first round. It would have been like, what's the time off do? You know,
right.
So like. Yeah, it's just a gut instinct. I felt like more time to just sharpen some weapons that he already had and build some new weapons. And that was really the benefit of the time off, in my opinion, was finally getting to like get in the gym and work on building some new weapons, because everybody's got video on Calvin now. They know how he fights. So if they're smart, they'll come out and fight a certain way and hope it works, right? So we had to come out, you know, back from that Max fight and show people that, listen, you can't just bully us around the cage, because if you do that, other stuff's going to happen. And that was the perfect opponent to show that. And, you know, I was really proud that Calvin came back the way he did, you know, especially with all the news going into the fight, how it was with, you know, what were 2 or 3 with one underdog. It's, oh, we shouldn't even have to fight. He should just get the title shot with.
Yeah, he was talking about
now.
fighting for the title.
You know, and our whole thing is like, we were never thinking about the title. We were just thinking about Giga. And, you know, you can't overlook these guys in the UFC, especially in the top 10. And, you know, Calvin came and he showed everybody that, you know, he's still here. He's still a top dog. And, you know, I think he gets his next win. I mean, right now you could argue that if Max gets hurt right now, who deserves the title shot? It's probably us. So like we're still a contender. If we have to go out and fight, whether it's Emmett or whoever, we go out and fight regardless of the ranking. That's another win in the top 10. And, there's going to be a lot of people thinking, if we do it in great fashion, there's going to be a lot of people arguing that Calvin should get the next title fight after Max does. So, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I just think the pivot is not talked about enough. Like the pivot and just the whole shift of mentality. Everyone's like, oh, I got to fight. I got to rebound from this, get right back in there and stuff like that. And they're not really taking the time to assess and reevaluate and work on things. I think the pivot you guys made and then the results that you have, I don't think it's getting enough praise and not getting credit that it deserves. And it's just it's just a credit to what you guys did as a team, the decision-making process and doing the right things. And I think it's just completely changed the outlook of what's really here in front of us at the top echelon of the featherweight division.
Yeah, I think it's, trust is built over time, and it's made with a bunch of little decisions over and over and over. And I think, over the last 10 years, we've, 7, 8, 10 years, whatever it is, we've built that trust. Like I've never been dishonest to him. I've always been straight up. I've always told him what I think. And I thought that was the move after that fight. And we're fortunate enough that we have that relationship where he was like, he wanted to fight the next day. He wanted to go for a jog the next day after the Max fight. He's like, can I go run? And we're like, no. So it's like, it's holding back the guy. He wants to get back in there and do it. And that's what I want in a fighter. But, fortunately we had that relationship where he's like, all right, I trust you. Just let's get to work, And so I think that just shows the type of team that we are, and then everybody on the team was on board. And, that win, it was more him than anyone, though. You come back from a fight like the Max fight that just, you didn't have the momentum, it didn't go your way, and then come back against the guy who's supposed to be a better striker than Max on paper, everybody's saying it, and he came back and he's like, no, I'm going to show you who the better striker is now. And that's just kudos to how mentally strong he is and how hard he works and what his upside truly is.
And the mental strength is so important in fighting, and I think in most sports.
I think people, like, all the interviews I did after the Max fight going into the next one, they were like, how's Calvin's confidence? And I'm like, dude, you think the Patriots lose to the Bills the first time and then come back the next game being like, I don't know if we can beat them. They're too good. Like, in this combat sports, you take a loss to someone and people think like, oh, well, now Calvin can never beat Max. It's like, listen, if any of these guys fight 10 times, there's going to be a different outcome, like every time, It's very rare that the one person's going to win 10 times, and that's what happens. And at this level, it really comes down to whoever gets momentum first or whoever makes the first mistake. And unfortunately that night, Max, he's a freaking OG, he's a legend of the division and, won a Hall of Famer in the UFC eventually, right? And he took momentum and he just kept it. And, Calvin said in interviews, he got laughed at the time going into the Giga fight, but he's like, I'm excited for that 5th round. And that's no disrespect to Max or his team, but like, I really do think he can still beat Max Holloway. He just has to fight a certain way. And that night, unfortunately, it wasn't our night. And, but it doesn't mean that he can't beat Max, and I think...
if anything, now I have the opportunity to show him that you can come back from a fight like that so upside down and then hopefully go out and win if I can, pull it off in an emphatic fashion. I mean, I have the opportunity now to go prove that. I didn't have that before the fight, so be it the way it worked out, but now it's an opportunity that I have to go show people, from that what you can bounce back. So I'm going to play that card next time I'm in there.
100%. So we're about a little bit more than a week away from Rob's fight. How do you guys taper everything off to make sure there's no overtraining? What is the strategy to make sure he's in healthiest position, best position possible, physically, mentally, leading into next Saturday night for fight night?
No, usually by the time we come out here a week early, and now we're just going through the motions where, it's like Saturday walkthroughs in football. You're not going 100%. We're just going through the motions. We're dialing in, make sure he gets the sweats in because obviously we got the weight cut coming up, making sure his triggers are there. He's getting good reps with Jake on the mitts. He's getting good rounds with Nick on jiu-jitsu. Light sparring with these guys, moving around and just getting some coaching in between rounds and just trying to make it feel like it's fight night and just make sure we're just tightening up any loose ends that are there. And then, it's at that point, it's just like the work is done. Now you're just like tying off loose ends and just, getting everything really pretty to come out on fight night. So, the work is done in camp. And then here it's just about like maintenance mode getting into the fight.
So the swimming, I'll teach him some swim stuff after the fight, after his win, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't want to mess anything out leading up to the fight. So
I'm in on that though too.
okay.
Got my goggles.
Dual action. Dual action for sure.
Let's get Calvin. Let's get Rob back in there. You get in here, Rob.
No, thanks for
having me on, guys.
Yeah,
thank you,
100%. Tyson, thank you. What would you say would be, I know we're not going to pick anything crazy like that, but like if you ever had a dream fight, is there any person that you ever envisioned that you'd ever fight?
I think
He's had some nightmares about fighting me.
I wouldn't get in there. Wouldn't mind getting in there with Van Dam, but that'd be pretty cool.
Van Dam.
I
love it.
I'm not going to even bother asking you that question because you're only looking at what's booked in front of you.
Yeah, you're damn right, man. I'm on to Tyson tonight. I'm going to beat his ass for the shit he said earlier.
But
that'd be pretty interesting.
what about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock?
Oh, yeah.
Strong form.
That was rough, man.
Strong form. Elbows in tight. Good turnover.
He smacked. He pulled it back.
Yeah.
Well, some people thought it was like fake.
That was one of the most powerful slaps I've ever seen.
Was it justified though?
I wouldn't say that, man. It's
I
tough,
don't know.
man. I don't know. I don't think you can run around slapping people like that. It's kind of tough, man.
But if you were sitting in his seat and he was saying something about your girl.
Yeah.
Nah, man. I think my girl would be pretty pissed if I did that. So I get it though. I understand why, and but it's tough, man. You run around slapping people like that. It's
Mike Tyson gotta be slapping people. No more punching, man. You gotta stop making people. We probably still make them bleed with a slap.
Like 6, 7
Yeah, right. It's so hard. You ever try like fighting in a plane? I fought my brother one time in the car. It
was a lot bigger than you.
Yeah, he was in the passenger seat and I was in the back seat. Good thing it kind of like leveled the playing field though, And we were just swinging over our heads, hitting the roof the whole time. Kind of like Mike. He's tough to like get a good angle on a shot like that in a plane.
I still haven't seen like the full version that's unedited. I just saw him. I feel like they edited 2 different videos together, or they took out the part where he got up and I just saw him wailing on him.
They saw him talk, the guy talking, and then Mike just throwing some.
They took the time to edit
and the
it.
photo after.
Yeah.
I mean,
They just play the
you poked the
controversial
bear,
part.
so.
And as I hate to ask you this because I know you're cutting weight, but as a former pizza guy, like, what's the ideal toppings you put on a pizza?
Oh, man, I mean, classic margarita, but I like jalapenos on pizzas too. Gotta always go with bacon on everything. I mean, we were just talking about it. It's so many options. You got chicken parm pizza, dessert pizzas. You can't really go wrong, man. Like,
What kind of pizza? Thin, Chicago style, deep.
I think the hand toss. I think keep it simple. The hand toss. I mean, I'll try the thin as well in the Chicago, but I think classic hand toss, like medium size, and throw anything you want on that bad boy.
What about French fries?
Chili cheese fries all day.
Like on them, because I do have a pizza named after me. It's called a Helen Yee pizza. Yeah, it's here in town.
In Vegas?
Yeah.
Nice. So what's the toppings?
It's French fries, bacon, sausage, pepperoni.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
I feel like it's one ingredient too much. It's really good. One ingredient too much.
What ingredient?
What would you take off?
One of the meats you got to take off, or it's too filling because
You
it's
can never
thicker.
have too much meat.
I'm gonna be honest too. I'm a little jealous. She's got a pizza named after her too. But I just feel like the ratio of crust and bread to the fries, it might just be too
But
much.
people gave me crap for putting French fries on them, but I'm like,
you burn enough calories in the pool. You ain't gotta worry about
yeah,
that.
and it's like
Swimming
2
comes in.
meals in one,
Yeah.
Just not a big fan of pineapple on pizza.
Are
you a pineapple?
Yeah, I could do some pineapple. I don't like it's like my favorite, but I could definitely eat it for sure.
I just
Are you pineapple?
I like pineapple on a lot of other things, but I don't know. I gotta try it again on pizza. Not like I don't order it. So, but I like pineapple on a lot of other things.
I like pineapple on like teriyaki chicken. That's
could do
good.
that.
That's a
That could
good
be
like.
pretty good, too.
I even liked it on
sweet-
sushi one time. It got me going. My first sushi roll.
I love frozen pineapple.
Frozen pineapple's good too. I know we
Try
probably
it.
shouldn't talk too much.
Yo, what are you doing, man? Okay, let's go through a
Frozen
weight cut.
pineapple, frozen grapes,
Right.
especially the cotton candy ones.
Oh
Try it.
yeah, he
yeah,
got
cotton
me
candy
onto
grapes,
those.
forget
Yeah,
about it.
Cotton
and
candy
you
grapes.
freeze those too.
Yeah, you
it's
freeze
like
them.
dessert.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, it's
Throw some pineapple.
it's a
in
game
it, good
changer.
to Go.
I just wonder what kind of chemicals they use to make them taste like
Try
cotton
not to
candy.
think about it.
Yeah.
Try not to think about it.
It's
Just enjoy
insane.
it, man.
So what's your go-to meal
It was funny.
after?
It's usually like pizza's the easiest, and then we'll figure out whatever I've been watching on Instagram and creeping on, you know. But I've been wanting White Castle. I don't know why. Like,
What?
yeah, I don't know
so
why.
crazy.
I saw like a YouTube video of like a remake of the burger. Then I'm like, I used to eat it when I was younger. And I just can't really remember how good it or bad it was. I'm like, all right, we gotta go get it. So I looked it up. It's like maybe 3.5 hours from my house. It's like, I guess they're only in New York or whatever. And
There's one here.
but then
Right.
you get here, there's one out here. So I'm like, I don't know, man. I have to go try some White Castles.
I think the only time I went, I was a teenager. It was right after Harold and Kumar go to White
Yeah.
Castle.
Oh,
yeah.
We drove out like 30 minutes away, and I probably ordered like 20 sliders.
Did you love it?
I loved it. I mean, I was probably stoned out of my mind too, so everything tastes better.
They're probably all
Makes
out
sense.
from yesterday. They need a week.
Oh,
Yeah, man. I'm excited for after this fight.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you guys are where the hotel is. It's still kind of off the strip, but it always smells like that synthetic marijuana right on the strip and stuff.
Yeah.
We weren't there yesterday, but I can only imagine the cloud cover you got from 420.
I can imagine as well.
It's crazy.
and you're near Topgolf too.
Oh yeah. We gotta get out there.
I'm down.
Who's better
Yeah.
at Topgolf?
I mean, it's hit or
It's all
Tyson.
miss.
strategy. It's all
Yeah.
strategy though.
He
It's
raised
all
his hand.
strategy.
Yeah, it's hard.
Yeah, it's not easy, but it's fun. I do like it. It's a good setup.
Yeah. Yeah, we just get really competitive and we start getting into fights whenever we go. So
Makes sense.
Well, it's nice. It's tough to eat food when you're golfing in the other place. You know what I mean? It's the spot to
For
kind of
sure.
eat food and swing a club.
Well, it's like, you know, she's got to get back in the competitive mode for swimming and stuff like that. So if I don't do my part when she's not in the pool, how are we going to hold her accountable when she's
Ooh,
in the
I
pool?
like
Yeah,
it.
I like
I like
it.
it.
by cheating and making up rules.
I don't. She just gets up really
finds a way to
upset.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because the things that like as a kid, you're a big golfer too, so you understand. Like if you lose your shit on one hole, it's gonna affect
Oh
everything.
yeah, 100%.
And it's all mental.
Always on to the next hole.
It's like it's all about challenging yourself mentally. It's like even if you screw up, okay, I just got to rebound. I can't even think about it. For her, I see where sometimes where she screws up and she can't get back on the horse.
Yeah.
I
She's
want
just
to
trying to
like
break
throw
you
the
to
golf
build you up.
club. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember like there's times where she just walked out, or like there's like a 5-stroke limit to some of even these mini golf places
Yeah.
we've gone to, but we don't play by that. We play till you get the ball in the hole.
Yes,
So I made her
I
sit
like
there till
it.
she gets 15 strokes in, and she finally gets the ball in the hole. Like,
King
she gets
Schmo.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
She gets mad though. She gets really mad. It's fun though.
I'll beat you next time.
Yeah. Well, what's like a dream? We're gonna get away from fighting then. So, what's like a dream vacation or dream place that you guys need to go to with all the win bonuses and earnings you got? Like, what's on the bucket list for you guys?
I'm thinking Thailand. I've always had that on the bucket list. It's been tough with COVID. Obviously, they have big quarantines forever when you get in there, so that kind of made it unrealistic. But the reason why I like it is because I've already done the Brazil travel. Well, you can kind of train, do some jiu-jitsu out there. I'd like to go out there, train a little bit, and then go see, all Thailand has to offer. I see some beautiful views. I hear a lot about it. But you can also get in the training.
Yeah, you could train
Not
with
go
his
too far off the deep end.
maybe a future opponent with this guy, Petr Yan, right?
He's out there, right?
Yeah.
He's out there. What part of Thailand is he?
I don't know if they're like Pawtucket, like where they do the. I could be completely wrong, but that's where Rafael Fiziev is there too. He's one of the coaches. He's the 155er.
I want to go see some Thai fights out there,
Where's
too. It's
Mike
just like
Swick?
legendary just seeing, Thai fights.
Oh
in
yeah,
Thailand.
Mike Swick's
Okay.
out there
Where-
too.
you know where
that-
AKA
Yeah,
Thailand.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm
I-
just not sure. Like,
I
which
just
part.
assume it's all Pawtucket. I've never
Yeah.
been. I just assume it's in that area.
It's all
Thailand's a
Thailand to me.
must.
Yeah, Thai food's really good.
Thailand's a must. I think I had Thai
Simple
food the
living.
other day. I think right? You guys had some Thai food the other day.
Yeah, they did.
Jake.
Are you Thailand too? What's your spot?
Oh, I'm definitely down for Thailand, but man, anywhere with a beach, anywhere hot. I hate being cold.
Yeah, me too. I hate being cold.
I hate being cold, but there's one spot I would go to. I would go to Iceland and in the hot springs.
Yeah. Is that what they do? Like the Northern
saw
Lights and
that,
all
yeah.
that, right?
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Really cool. They got the igloos and stuff outside, I
Yeah.
think, too, out there.
Some, just
Igloos.
like remote areas and stuff. I guess it'd be cold, but you'd be warm if you go to the hot springs, or it'd be better if you go in the summertime. I can't pronounce the capital, but I know people. My brother's been there, so he told me about it. I saw pictures. I'm like,
Nice.
fuck, I need to go there.
Yeah.
Where's that place you could float in the pool?
Pool?
Yeah, it's like super salty. or
Oh
something.
no, that's the Dead Sea in Israel. That you can float on top of the water because there's so much salt. And if you have a cut,
Read a book.
Your eyes must sting knowing that, right?
Yeah.
Remember Abu Dhabi
Imagine
was kind of stinging your eyeballs over there a little bit too, right? How
100%.
salty the water was.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I almost died that day.
Yeah, you did.
That
Hey, he was
worst,
hurt
man.
from
I was
the
like,
F1 track.
Yeah, I was hurt. No, so
Originally.
I just had I just got off of knee surgery and rehab and all that. I haven't ran, jogged, or nothing. We just got the clearance like around this. So I'm excited. Let's go jog. Probably like halfway, like a mile and a half. I'm dying. I'm sitting there like, look, what's going on? Like, feel like I'm overheating. Like to the point where people saw me like, are you okay? And then like, you need water. And then like there's a couple guys took me back on a golf course and then
Golf cart.
golf cart, and they brought me back to the hotel. I was out for like maybe like 4 or 5 hours and then recovered. And then the next day, got out to the F1 race cars, and same thing. Almost died out there too. It was just too hot for me.
Dude, it is way too fucking hot
Yeah.
there, and humid too. You got the heat, you got the worst of this. It's like combining the worst of Florida and Vegas and put it in
Yeah,
one.
it was. Yeah.
What
That was rough.
It's such a crazy time to think about, like how they had Fight Island during this whole pandemic shit. You know, because everything's lifted now, and I don't want to call it shit. It's a real thing, but like. It's a crazy time to reflect on. We went all the way to Abu Dhabi. That's where the fights were.
Yeah.
There was no other sports going on at the time.
I just remember thinking from the Jacksonville fight. I remember like we were like it was like so dangerous to do this. And It was bad. We were irresponsible. It was pretty bad. Like to now, you know, it was pretty funny.
You were part of a lot of the Vice Star. That was what kicked everything off. You're part of a lot of the historic stuff too. And I think even the Max fight, wasn't that the first one on ABC?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
That was the first MMA fight on ABC then?
Yep.
It's just been a part of history.
Yeah, it's been pretty wild. I was, when they were talking about Fight Island, they were talking about fighting on like a boat offshore and stuff. We were just talking about that the other day, how like I wish it was kind of something crazy like that. The more crazy the idea, the more up for it I was.
I initially thought that at one point too, because I think in college basketball, I remember watching a Michigan State UNC. They were off the shores of San Diego playing on like a Navy battleship. I thought they were going to do something like that too. How amazing would it be if you guys are doing MMA?
Fighting
Might
on a
be
boat,
seasick, but
fighting on a yacht. That'd be
How
pretty
cool would that be? Yeah.
that would be a really cool thing. I'm surprised like there hasn't been some royal prince in that area
True.
that's kind of like set that thing up.
Yeah.
We gotta get it done.
That'd be a crazy
Just do it
kind
in
of
the
shindig.
States, though. Just do it in the States.
Just
That
add to the
flight was
story.
horrible.
Yeah, that flight was rough, man. We had to go to Vegas first before we went there. So, East Coast, West Coast to go all the way back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that
The
sucks.
time difference.
Yeah, kind of a pain in the ass. But, I mean, at least we were able to compete, be busy, obviously. Thinking positive.
What's your final thoughts, guys? I appreciate you guys coming on the podcast.
I'm just impressed by your studio here, man. Congrats on this.
hell
This
yeah.
place coming together, and I can't wait to see the final product.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Loving the swag.
I mean, I got it from you.
Let's go. On to next week. Team Font.
Let's fucking go.
So now that I've interviewed Brooke, I feel like I got to interview Hulk, and I feel like it might be the appropriate shirt.
I mean, just
Oh,
have
you
him rip it in
should.
half for me if he's going to get rid of it, all right? Just give me one. Give me a good one.
Maybe I could do that.
I would love that.
See, I'll
yeah.
just put it because it's the same. It's cool.
I got to get you something not like straight cloth. I don't know. It might be a little tough. I'll get you
I might have to make an
a
incision
couple tears,
or
yeah, a little
something
bit,
like
just
that.
around the seams.
Let's cut the little top right there.
It made my day because she said I got to tell my dad.
Hell yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's cool.
I
That's a
like
cool
it.
thing. Episode 101 of the Schmozone Podcast. We are out.